Find yourself caring for your parents and raising your young kids. Well, you've become part of what they call the sandwich generation. And while you want to do both, it can make such a strain on you and your life and your whole family. And joining me now with more on how to cope, some tips, Jeff Larson, marriage and family therapist. Thanks for being here this morning.
Good morning, Bridget. How are you?
Great to see you. Okay, let's talk about this. For people who
Sure.
don't know what a sandwich generation is, what is it?
Well, it's not a generation that loves sandwiches. So
No.
let's get that straight.
Okay.
The crew was waiting for me to bring sandwiches this morning.
They were.
It's not that. So the sandwich generation is a growing number of Americans and a growing number of San Diegans. In fact, half of San Diegans between the ages of 45 and 55 are taking care of their aging parents on one end. So that's the first part of the bread of the sandwich.
There you go.
And their kids on the other, so children under 21. So they really are the meat in this sandwich, and they're being sandwiched out of their lives, they feel like.
Being pretty much squished there. And
Absolutely.
we understand these numbers, of course, are only going to go up.
Only going to go up as baby boomers become older. It's going to become almost an epidemic in the county and in the country. So we're really worried about this as marriage and family therapists because it's the hardest balancing act on the planet.
What do you see? What are the results of people trying to juggle this much responsibility?
So, you know, when clients come to me, one thing they have in common is this: they are burned out. So what I see most of all is this incredible level of burnout. You know, it's one thing to take care of kids, and I think parenting is the hardest job on the planet. It sort of keeps me in business, right? Giving tips. But, you know, when you have to take care of your aging parents as well, often all in the home, it's really overwhelming. So patients and clients are overwhelmed more than anything.
So how do they handle that? How do you get a hold of that burnout? How do you not burn out? And how do you prioritize your life?
Well, I have a program called There Is an I in Sandwich, right?
Okay.
So when clients come in, they have forgotten about themselves. So they're so busy with their parents, they're so busy with their kids, they forget that there is a self, right? So I talk about how the most important letter in the word sandwich is I, because this is what people have forgotten about.
Well, how can people do that? Because, you know, as parents alone, we feel guilty if we don't, you know, if we're not with our kids every second, doing what they need every second. A lot of moms, dads, they feel guilty about it. How do you do that and not feel guilty?
Well, I think it's part of the sandwich culture is that there's guilt on both sides, right? So you really have to take that guilt and do something with it. So what I talk about is take your guilt, because we all feel it as parents, right? We all feel it as children of aging parents, and make it energy for you to balance your life. So take the guilt that you feel and put it into action and balance your life out. Do one thing a day for yourself, however small it is, even if it's a half-hour bath or a 15-minute walk to clear your head. You've got to do something.
And once you do that, then you have a better idea of how you can make adjustments and decide what's the most important thing to handle that day. Is it your son with a test, or is it your mom who's got an issue with, you know, some sort of ailment or something?
Right. What I find is that clients who are able to get a clear head, even for 15 to 20 minutes a day, feel a lot more ready to prioritize, you know. So I tell them that you have to balance an unbalanced situation. This situation, by its nature, is completely unbalanced. So the job is to balance your life out, as hard as it is. So even that 15, 20 minutes a day of balancing, getting your mind clear, will help you prioritize.
All right, a little bit of summing up there for our sandwich generation.
Absolutely.
And you were talking a little bit earlier, we don't have time to go into too much of it, but there's so many sandwiches out there now. There's names for all the different types of sandwiches, right?
Right. So we even call it like a triple-decker sandwich where you have grandparents, great-grandparents, and children.
All right, that's another discussion. We'll have to have you in on that one for
Sounds
sure.
great.
All right, appreciate it. Thanks so much. Jeff Larson, thanks for coming in.